This is a Weber Go Anywhere charcoal portable grill, and this is actually my second unit. My first one I've had for so long, it actually has wooden handles on it. But I decided to get a second one, and I set it up in the same way I set my first one up. So I thought I'd show you how that looks. Now what's really nice about these is that they're pretty durable. Like I said, I've used that other one for years and years and years and years, and it's still in great condition. It does have a nice tough porcelain enamel outside coating, which I believe is the same thing they use on their full-size kettles. My original one has wooden handles, but this one has this, I think maybe a nylon glass sort of handle. It does get a little warm when you're using it, so just be aware of that. Here you have your little wheels up here to help regulate the air intake, and you also have draft doors on the bottom, and we'll talk about that a little bit more later. Here you have your legs. They do flip up to keep the lid on so that you can carry the whole thing around, and it's all self-contained. So taking the legs off, these actually do flip, like I said, underneath, and I'll show you that later. We take off the lid, and inside I store everything I use pretty much when I'm barbecuing. And this is possible because of a slight modification I'll talk about later. I have some grill wipes in here. I have this little silicone mat here. I just got it. I don't know if I'm going to keep it in here, but I just thought, oh, I'll give it a try. Now, this is usually what it looks like. There's lots of room for other things, and I am missing a few that haven't arrived yet from Amazon. Normally, I would also have a pair of high heat barbecue gloves, and as soon as they arrive, they'll go right here. I usually keep a little bit of towels under here for wiping your hands and such, and I'll put those in there when they come. The other thing that's missing is a pair of tongs and a knife that has a sheath in it so it doesn't cut you. Those things will also fit in here, and there'll still be room for more stuff if I want. So I keep a little bag in here of some gloves just for when I'm handling raw meat or marinade or something like that. Sometimes it can be hard to find a place to wash your hands, so in those cases I just use this. I do have this cool little tray here, a little basket, and I have a Weber one in my other grill, but this one's made by Charbroil. It is a little bit smaller, a little bit more compact, but it's still made out of the stainless steel material, really tough and durable. And what you do with this is you can put in, like the picture shows, shrimp or vegetables or any loose items and sort of toss them around in here and put them right on your grill. So that's kind of nice to have. And because of the size and the fact that it's stainless steel, I've sort of been thrown around the idea of maybe using this as a charcoal basket, but we'll see. I always use my grill, or mostly use my grill, for indirect heating, and we'll talk a little bit more about that, and that may come in handy. I do have a basting brush, nice to have, my spatula, a lighter. I like to keep a cutting board in there. My other grill has a smaller cutting board, but this one was what I could find. And this is what's really nice. This is also what creates the need for the modification that we're going to talk about. This is a Weber Rapid chimney starter for like your briquettes and stuff, and the compact one fits in here. And I don't waste this space. Underneath here is full and inside is full, so I'll show you what's in there. I do keep a gallon-sized Ziploc bag full of briquettes, and this will typically, a full thing of briquettes will often last 2 cooks. So that's actually not bad. And it also depends on what kind of charcoal you're using, if you're using lump or briquettes or what brand and such like that. And we're not going to go into that in this video, but I keep that up in there. And then underneath, I do have some paraffin wax cubes, which I use to light my chimney starter. And I keep some of these smoker chips. I make a little packet with foil, and I'll use the smoker chips. Often, though, I just put a few chunks of wood chunks in here, and I throw them in the charcoal. That's usually the way I prefer to do it. So we'll put this here. And now we get into the grates. The grates are how I have modified this in order to fit everything. The grates are way down here on the bottom. Now, if you pull your legs out on one side a little bit, you can get out your charcoal grate. Now this is going to sit right on the little parts of these legs that stick inside your grill, and that holds it up, and this is what you put your charcoal on. But in order for this to sit flat on the bottom, which is what you need to fit everything in, you just pull the legs aside a little bit and put them underneath those tines. And here we get to the modification. This is the Grill Grate. It comes in one solid piece, and what I have done was taken an angle grinder and I've cut this 15 tines in on this one side. So this side is a little bit bigger than this side. And you might want to know why you would do that. Well, first of all, so it can fit flat on the bottom, but it's also for another reason. It's because I do direct grilling most of the time on this grill. And this allows me to have access to all of my charcoal, which typically sits over on this one side, so that I can have the charcoal here and I can have the food here. And what I'll do is I'll usually put a pan under here, like an 8x8 pan, usually disposable or something like that, and it can hold all, catch all the drippings from the meat that's on here, or you can put vegetables or different things under there and bake that under there while you're cooking your meat on top, and then you have all your charcoal over here. And that's kind of why I was thinking this might make a good charcoal basket over here on this side. So I'm going to think about that. I'm going to explore that a little bit. Typically, I just bank it all up over here and throw a couple wood chips on it if I want to. The other nice thing about having it separated like this is you can cook your food here, have your charcoal here, and you have access to your charcoal, obviously, but you can also put the grill over the charcoal. So you might have a side where you're cooking, and then you can finish it over here over the high sear, or whatever. You can have that option to do that right over the charcoal if you want. Or just leave it off completely and have all that access. So really works out well that way. It does have, you can see under here, the little holes that are your draft holes on this side and this side. I do have it lined with foil. You don't have to do that. You do you. I just do that so it's easier to pull up all the corners and clean it out when I'm getting the ash and things like that out of here. But it's not really necessary. If you put it down, you just want to make sure you're not obstructing the holes on either side of this grill. The last thing I have in here is I always keep some extra foil. I use the foil to make smoke packets for my chips. I use the foil to cover food when it's resting, or to wrap food that's left over, anything. I've just found it's always useful to have a bit of foil in there. Now to show you how these legs work, they just roll right up on either side, and there's a clip on one of the legs, I think it's on the other side, and it holds the legs together so you can lift this up and they won't fall apart. This is your bottom draft door here. You can open it all the way up to expose all the holes across the bottom. You can do it just partially, close one side and leave one side up. You can leave the whole thing closed. It just depends on what you're cooking, or if you're, putting your coals out, you'll obviously close everything down and so on and so forth. But it's a really handy little grill. I really love having it. I've enjoyed my other one. I just want a second one for when I have, more than one group of people coming with me. And that's pretty much how I set the inside up so that everything fits in there, everything but the food. So hopefully you found that helpful and have some ideas you might want to try, and give it a go and let us know how it works.